Hello and welcome to Healthy Core and Yoga Flow. This is day 7 of a 30-day challenge, however you like to use it, to reboot and reset your energies, your vibrations and frequencies. So thanks for joining me, and today we are going to work in the yoga section into a pose called Parsvottanasana. It's a pyramid pose, stretches the back of the legs, the lower back, middle back, and certainly the shoulders as well. So let's take a nice comfortable seat onto our yoga mat, and we'll start by centering together. Anchor the sit bones down and sit nice and tall onto your seat. Elongate the spine, soften the outer layers. Setting an intention for your practice, maybe a body part, maybe an intention that you like to dedicate your energy to for this stretchy and also very hugging in and centering yoga flow practice with some core as well. So let's take the palms together in front of the heart and join our voices in an Om to start our journey. Take a nice big inhale. And release the hands, open the eyes, and we'll start on all fours, please, with our cat-cow that I think is so healthy for the organs, healthy for the spine. So let's tuck the toes under, and shoulders and wrists are stacked above and below each other, and vacuum suck your belly all the way in and up, and start the purification process by lifting the belly in and up, and exhale, extending it back out. And again, bringing it all the way in, rolling each and every vertebrae, expanding the back body, and gently releasing it back to neutral and bringing it back up. Exhaling all the air, firing up the muscles of the abdomen surrounding it, back, front, and side. And 2 more times, press the hands, the knees, the toes under, and bring your organs in and up, massaging them. And 1 more time, inhale, bring it all the way up. Exhaling, holding, finding the layers of the muscles, the deeper layers. And exhale, coming back to neutral, and make your way all the way onto your back. And we're going to come all the way down onto the back, and we're going to bring that same feeling of the lower back in towards the yoga mat this time instead of up towards the sky. So release the glutes and the hamstrings. They don't have to be included. We just want to use our steady, stable core. And bring the legs up into tabletop and take the arms up. And this is also one of my favorite, to have a healthy, stable core. So you can lift your shoulder blades off, or you can keep them down. Opposite arm, opposite leg extends out, and we keep the lower back on towards the yoga mat or whichever kind of mat that you're using today. And again, we have 20 of these, so that should be about 18 more. And we just are extending the arm and the leg opposite direction, and keeping that lower back stable onto the mat. And 14 more. Keep that lower back glued into the mat. 13 more. And 12. And we just keep it going at our pace that works for us. And 10 more, keeping the lower ribs and the top of the hips to really tighten towards each other. and 9 more. And we keep this moving, and 7 more. Purifying the organs and building lots of strength in towards the center line of the body. And 5 more. And 4 more. I hope you feel something. I sure do. And 3 more. And we'll just keep this going for 2 more on each side. Remind your lower back to stay down by really plugging in the muscles of the belly. And 1 more for good measure, making sure that we got all 20 in, and slowly bring it back in, knees to chest. Nice. And holding your knee in, right knee in, extending your left leg and switching. Alternate knee to chest, and you can stay here with your shoulder blades down and still feel a whole lot of abs working because your lower back stays on towards the yoga mat. You could lift up if you wanted to. We have 15 left and 14. It's a nice one that pulls that lower belly in and up. 12 more. There should be no stress on the neck. You should feel nice and easeful. 10 more if you need to. Just put your shoulder blades, your head back down. 8 more. And 7 more. And 6 more. 5 more. And 4 more. And 3 more. Should be a nice burn in the lower belly. 2 more. And 1 more. And then we can bring the knees in and release the head down. Massage the belly a little bit. Stretch your legs all the way up for leg drops. Take your hands onto the mat or take the hands underneath your sacrum, wherever it feels a good support and stable for your core. So we're going to take the right leg down, bring it back up, and left leg down and bring it back up. We alternate. Yeah, I'm using the lower belly, plugging the back into the mat, using only the core as best as we can. Dropping, bringing it back up, and dropping, bringing it back up. And 14 more on each side. 13. It goes fast when you're having fun. 12 more. Making sure that your abs are working, firing up the abs. 10 more. And 9, lowering and lifting. And 8. And 7. Should be a nice plugged in feeling in the whole front side of the body. 5 more. And 4 more. And 3 more. And 2 more. And last 1. And bring it all the way in and knees into the chest. Give yourself a little pause right here. And then we'll move directly into reverse ab curl. Also one of my favorite because it really moves the lower belly strongly. It really flushes and wakes up those deeper layers of the lower belly. So you can have your hands on the mat or hands underneath, whichever works underneath the sacrum. So bring the knees in and then we'll take them back out and reverse, rolling it up and extend. You can always come down and bring your heels to the floor. You don't have to stretch your legs in between. Do what works for you. We'll just do our best to roll through the layers in the whole spine. And 14 more. And 13. And 12 more. Having a good time, rolling the spine. Really engaging the lower abs. And 8 more. 7. And 6 more. 5 more. And 4 more. And 3 more. 1 more after this, and we are done with the reverse ab curls. And we can take a little side to side, massaging the hips if needed, this way and that way. And then we have one more left, one more little sequence left, which will be legs up, and then we'll take a hold of the right ankle and drop the left leg down for leg stretches. And we can stay here and just gently touch in towards the lower leg and spreading the toes or pointing them, whichever works for you. You can have your head down, or you could bring your head up as well. And we'll go for 15 more. And 14 more. Give a little tug on the leg. 12 more. 11. Exhaling, inhaling. 12 more. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7. And 6. We'll just keep this going. 5 more. Using our core, super strong core on the inner layers. And 2 more. And 1 last. Bring the legs up, hug the knees in, and take your legs side to side. And we are done with the healthy core section of our time together today. So from here, take your knees into the chest and let's roll all the way up and extend the legs forward. Take your right leg in and extend your left leg forward for head to knee pose. Inhale, bring the arms up towards the sky. Bring your ribs in and hinge and fold. And use all that core that we just plugged in to fold forward. Expand the back body, create space, root down the sit bones and extend. Hands can be anywhere around the mat. It can be around your foot. So take what works the best for you. Maybe around your leg, around the mat, maybe with a block for the foot, elbows out to the side. And gently bring it all the way back up and switch to the second side. Left knee in and right leg forward, head to knee pose, Janu Shirshasana. Arms up and exhale, hands to the foot. Inhale, long spine and hinge and fold. Forward fold, heel down, toes up. Breathing, softening, expanding the back body. Pull that lower belly all the way in and up. couple of seated poses before we come to our standing today, to stretch into the back of the leg and open up the pathways of the hamstrings. Take your feet together, take your inner thighs wide back and apart so that we're sitting onto the sit bones. Take your arms up to the sky, bring your ribs in, and maybe we'll stay here. Maybe we'll come here with the hands to the side for Dandasana, staff pose. If your hamstrings feels like this is plenty. If there is more that you like to dig into for your hamstrings, then come with your hands forward for Parsvottanasana. Forward fold, you might take your hands around your feet and fold the elbows out to the side. Head towards the toes, breathing, softening, melting. And gently come back up from there to upright position. Take your right foot in again. We're going to keep it for a half butterfly or half Baddha Konasana for coming into stretching the back of the leg for hero's pose. Taking our hands either with a strap or the hands around the foot. Take your left foot up. Take your knee over towards your shoulder. So we have our right leg in and our left foot is up and the knee comes towards the shoulder, even maybe behind the shoulder or in the side of the shoulder to plug the femur in. One breath and then extend your leg up towards the sky, straighten the arms and coming into hero's pose, Crunchasana variation with the gaze over the big toe somewhere up in the sky and maybe a little concave into the upper back. Pull the upper arm bones in and there should be some nice feedback in towards the hamstring, in towards the calf on your left side. And take another breath here. Saturating the whole back layer of the left leg with some nice breath. And exhale, release. And then we'll switch to the second side. Take your left foot in for half butterfly. So the left foot comes in towards the inner thigh on your right side. And then take your left, the right foot comes in towards the center. Hands around the foot or use a strap. Take your foot and press it into the hands and take your knee outside or lateral side of your chest on the right side. Press your hand and your foot into each other and find hero's pose, which is a nice, super intense, loving stretch into the back of your right leg today, right now. So press your hands and your foot into each other. And it could be like the shoulder starts to kind of run away. So pull the upper arm bones in, integrate the body parts into each other so that we're plugging ourselves in before we stretch out and always moving from the core. So lift the lower belly in, take the gaze up towards the sky from there. And I'm hoping at this place you will have a really nice stretch into the back of the right leg. And maybe just about a little bit everywhere. One more breath right here. And exhale, release. Cross the legs. And we have arrived to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pressing into the back of the legs, into the ankles, into the feet. Doing a right calf stretch and a left calf stretch. Moving this way and that way. Starting with tiger dog to plug the femurs in. Take your knees to the earth. Grab your yoga mat nice and strong. Take your feet maybe perhaps a little wider for some more space for the seat and the lower back. Chug your hands forward. Bend your knees. Take your ribs towards your thighs and start to open up the pathways for the quads, for the hamstrings. Take the gaze forward for more opening in towards the upper back. Move about the way you need to move about to find your spaces that needs a little extra oxygen. And then exhale, release to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your feet halfway in, take your hands halfway in and find your way to forward fold, Uttanasana. Feel all four corners of your feet Pull the inner edges of the feet towards the midline, top of the head towards the floor. Take your hands to your hips, elbows to sky, and come up to standing. Release the hands. We're going to take the hands behind us, roll the shoulders up and back. Bend into your knees and we'll come forward again for a forward fold. Feel an even stance in your feet, transferring up to your ankles, your knees, and your hips. And your hands can stay on the sacrum, or they might come up towards the sky to stretch in towards the shoulders. And maybe swaying a little bit side to get into the nook and crannies from the hips to the armpit. And gently release, hands to sacrum, hands to hips, and come all the way up to standing. Excellent. Release the hands and come to the front of your mat. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, and exhale, release, hinge and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, step to plank pose. Take a big step back. Shoulders and wrists are stacked. Claw your fingertips, wake up your palms, and wake up the core again, and then lower all the way to the floor with either the knees or lower yourself all the way down. And inhale into a low cobra, rolling the shoulder blades up and back, down towards the hips. From here, take your palms and lift them up for Shalabhasana, toning in towards the back body and finding space for the shoulders. So just like an airplane, arms to the back, just to kind of fire up the muscles of the spine, the whole erector spinae group. One more breath, and then exhale, take it back to your cobra, lower all the way, push into child's pose, big toes together, knees apart, stretch the arms forward, and gently bring it all the way up, and come to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your right foot between the hands, come up into warrior two, sweep your left arm up and your right arm up. Arms to the horizon, front knee over the front ankle, tone into your legs, skin to muscle, muscle to bone, feel all four corners of your feet. From here, hands behind your sacrum, roll the shoulders up and back, humble warrior. You can keep your hands onto your sacrum, or you can take your hands up towards the sky, lifting it all the way up, lifting shoulders away from the ears, pressing into the front foot, into the back foot, equal amount of weight. Exhale, release, hands to the sacrum, hands to the floor, and stretch your arms out to the diagonal, and then take your hands to the inside of the right foot, step it back, downward facing dog. Give yourself a couple of nice deep breaths right here. Claw the fingertips, wake up the pathways, back, side, front of the body. Step your left foot between the hands. Windmill up into warrior two, sweeping the arms up and around, bending the front knee 90 degrees, arms out to the horizon. Feel both feet equally amount of weight. And from here, take your hands behind, find your different clasp. So if you have a dominant clasp, see if you can take the other one. Roll the shoulders up and back. Use option to stay here. We're simply really tuning into the shoulders a little bit here. And with a challenge of our stance in warrior two. Take the top of the head towards the floor. Maybe reach your arms up for humble warrior. Take your arms all the way up. Lift and lengthen from your hips to your shoulders, and then shoulders away from the ears. Feel both feet and use your power of the muscles to stay nice and connected and plugged in. Exhale, release, hands to the sacrum. Take the hands forward for a nice big two-hand supported side stretch, and then gently hands inside your left foot and step it back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Give yourself a few breaths right here. Come up onto the toes, bend the knees. Come and stand onto your knees. If this works for you, then have your toes tucked under. If it works to you to sit down onto the heels, sit onto your heels and get a nice open feeling for the plantar side of the feet. We're going to either stand up on the knees or sit down. Take the arms out to the side. Take your right arm underneath your left and palms together for eagle arms. As we are paying attention to our feet, our toes, our ankles, you can arch the spine, you can drop your head down and come back to upright. Fly your arms out to the side and then take your left underneath your right and come back to eagle arms, and you can arch your spine out, lots of space for the shoulder blades. And then exhale, bring it back out and take the arms all the way up and exhale, hands to the heart. Downward facing dog, please. Excellent. Step it back, down dog. We'll remember those arms, they will show up again. Press the palms down, lift the upper arm bones. Step your right foot between the hands. Stay nice and low. And extend your legs, toes to the sky, heel down. And bring it all the way back down. And exhale, heel down, toes up. And again, kind of touching into that pyramid pose. And exhale. And this one will stay down here into lunge and come up high on your back toes. Pull your right hip back, hand to your right thigh. We've been here many times during these last few days. This is like a staple pose. Take your right hip back, sweep the arms all the way up. And from here, arms out to the side. Take your right arm under and your left over for eagle arms. Arch your spine and exhale, take it back up. And you might even lift up. Stay nice and anchored in towards your legs. Exhale, release, arms down and up, palms together, and exhale, release. Hands to each side of your right foot, step it back, downward facing dog. Breathing, softening, plug your upper arm bones in. From here, step your left foot between the hands and lower down. And exhale, fold back and inhale. Couple of nice flows from low lunge to a pyramid variation, touch and go pose. So let's do that one more time. Bring it all the way back and coming lower down. Tuck the back toes, pull your left hip back, your right hip forward, use your core to lift up, and then from here release the hands. Inhale, arms forward and up. Exhale, release arms to the side. Take your left arm underneath your right, palms together. Arch the spine, hug it all the way in. And inhale, bring it from there up. Eagle arms in our crescent pose. And exhale, release arms to the side. Bring it all the way up. Palms together. And exhale, release. Hands to floor, to earth. Step it back. Down dog, one breath. Plank pose, one breath. And then lower all the way down. Inhale into cobra. Inner shoulder to outer shoulder. And exhale, take it back down. We'll stay onto our belly and take Shalabhasana with our hands interlaced behind. Take your hands, interlace them on your sacrum. Lift your shoulder blades up and away. Click all of your 10 toes down. Lift your lower belly in and up. And then from there, lift up your torso and lift your arms towards your feet if it's available. And maybe hover a little bit side to side, this way and that way. And exhale, release. Hands to shoulders. Push back, child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. One nice plug in for the femurs into the hips. Few more breaths right here. And then exhale, take yourself back to downward facing dog, please, for one breath. Fully extend from the hands through the whole body to the feet, and then move that energy opposite direction as well. And by that, clearing and cleaning all the layers, purifying, lifting stagnant energies, raising our vibrations and the frequencies. Step the feet towards the hands. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, fold. Hands to hips, elbows to sky, bend into the knees, and come up to standing. Release the hands. And you can face any direction that you like, comfortable, and we're gonna bring the palms together in front of the heart. So this is something that most of us can do comfortably for the shoulders. And then the reverse version is to take the hands behind and maybe find the elbows back here. Maybe we are even able to take the hands and flip them so we come to a reverse namaste with the palms together. So we lift the shoulders up and away, and the hands are right between the shoulder blades. They can be down, they can be up. We can hold on to our elbows. So we'll remember that, and we'll take the hands back towards the heart and see how that feels. And then bring your arms out, and then take the hands behind and find your reverse Anjali Mudra right behind the heart. And then we lift it up and back and enjoy this, and press maybe the palms together and press them even in towards the space between the shoulder blades, and lift up. And exhale, release, hands to the sides. Nice. Shake the shoulders out a little bit. And then we're gonna widen the feet, wide apart for Parsvottanasana, feet wide apart pose. Take your arms all the way out to the side and lift from the waist through the shoulders, out the arms, and hands to the hips from there, and hinge and fold into feet wide apart, Parsvottanasana, hinge, feet wide apart, hinging, hips and ankles are stacked above and below each other. Lifting the upper arm bones, breathing, softening, melting. Taking our hands underneath the shoulders for a twist and another opening for the shoulders. Right hand in the center, left arm up to the sky. Checking in with the center line, with the medial line, with the twisting. Exhale, release, switch sides. Left hand onto the earth, right underneath the shoulder. Right arm comes up. See if you can pull the inner edges of the feet towards the midline. Keep the hips nice and leveled. Twist and turn from the middle of the back. And exhale, release, hands to the floor. Cat-cow, hands on the floor. Arch the spine and convex it. Look forward and exhale, arch the spine, roll each and every vertebrae. Inhale, long spine, and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Bring it all the way up and come back to neutral. Hands to hips, elbows to sky, press the feet, come up to standing. And from here, we're gonna go directly into our pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana, with we're gonna turn our right foot forward and our left foot in, with a slight turn to the side. Hands out to the side. And then from here, take our hands behind, either find your elbows or find your reverse Namaste Mudra, Anjali Mudra. Lift your heart, your lungs, your chest. Pull your lower belly in, just like when we plug it into the mat in the beginning of class in our core exercises. Pull that lower belly in and up, and then from there, hinge and fold. Pull your right hip back. Take your gaze forward towards your right big toe. If it works, you can take your head towards your knee. breathing and softening, staying fully plugged in to our center line. Release the gaze to the big toe and then come all the way up to standing and switch to the second side. You might have released your hands and shake them out a little bit, or you might keep them there. Left foot forward, right foot slightly turned out, and hips facing forward over the left leg. Lift your chest, your heart, your lungs, and hinge and fold for Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose, hands in prayer. Take your gaze over towards the big toe. You might have your hands on the floor for support. Use the lower belly in and up to really center yourself, to really bring a whole lot of energy down in the legs and in towards the feet. You can take your head towards your knee, stretching the whole back side of the body, pulling the organs in and up. Take the gaze back to the big toe, and then from there root and come back up. Release to the center, release your hands, arms out to the side, take it all the way up, and exhale, bring it back down to the floor. Widen your feet if needed. Take your hands forward for one more Prasarada hinge. We have lifted into the back body. We have pulsed some energy, intense energy in towards the kidneys, and clean and clear layers, and come into downward facing dog from here. Adho Mukha Svanasana, and from here come into child's pose, big toes together, knees apart. Stretch the arms forward, and or stretch your arms alongside your legs, and let your shoulders round after that big shoulder opener, after that big whole back centering pose. Take a few breaths right here. And gently come all the way up to your seat. Take a comfortable seat, crossing your knees or sitting on a block, whichever works for you. And thank you for coming all the way with me to pyramid pose with our hands behind our back in prayer form. I know it's a lot for the shoulders, but it's also a lot for our balance. So it's really just a whole lot of healthy core to hug all the way in and up. So from there, let's sit nice and tall onto the sit bones, elongate the spine. You can turn the palms up on your knees for more exchange of energy. Sitting nice and tall, each and every vertebrae clean and clear, breathing through them. You can pull the ears back slightly, coming back to your intention of the beginning of your practice. See if it's filled up with energy, or if maybe you'll deposit some more into it. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. You should feel really nice and open and clear pathways from the heart and lungs out the arms to the palms. Let's take an Om to close our practice today. Take a nice big inhale. And thank you so much for joining me for day 7 in our Healthy Core and Yoga Flow series. I think it's really fun. I hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to all the rest that's coming up. The next one is we're going to spin off of what we just did and take it into a Hanuman splits, a splits pose. So I'll see you for that next time on the mat. And for now, take a Shavasana or any rest pose that works for you, so that all of these poses that we just did and the core has a chance to integrate to its new layers of vibrancy and frequencies and transformations in times of 2020. So thank you again for spending time with me. Namaste.